What's up, RC4 squad? Mike back with another video. We got something special today, guys. This is an ARRMA Talion. So this is an OG V1 model that's been pretty upgraded. It's actually not mine. I'm working on it for somebody, but I wanted to take the opportunity to show this thing. Obviously a custom painted blue body. Let me get these Proline body mounts unscrewed. As you can see, just kind of colored in the writing, so he had some white letters. And you can tell right off the bat, it's got this big beefy T-bone bumpers, front bumper. I don't know if you can see that shock tower sticking out, but that's a Just Bash It. Pretty heavy body. It looks like he's got it all undercoated. And once you open this bad boy up, guys, like, wow. Let me tell you, she looks sweet. Got some Just Bash It chassis on it. It's got Just Bash It chassis supports. Now this is a V1, so there was no tower to tower back then. Looks like the same for the servo mount. Looks like it's got a Monster X8S ESC with a rocket motor in it. Little Just Bash It wing mount stop. Just Bash It towers. Suspension feels super nice, guys. Got these rear mud guards. I'm not sure what brand they are. They don't really say anything on them either. So he's having a little issues with the differential and he's not sure which differential it is. So in this video, I'm going to pop out the differentials and check it out. See what I find, rebuild all the differentials, and also go through all the shocks, even though I may just inspect the shocks because I feel like he nailed the shocks. But he's definitely having some issues with the diffs. It looks like it's got hot racing aluminum bulkheads on it, and it looks like at least the D block has been replaced with a Voltage Hobbies one. That's some OG. I'm actually thinking I'm wrong, guys. I'm right on the chassis braces. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get, I don't know if it's me, but it feels like it's sitting a little unlevel, like it's dipped down on that side. Probably have to go through the droop settings and make sure they're right. Let me see something, guys. Just looks like it needs gone through and freshened up and set up. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. Like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is pull out the center diff, check it, rebuild it, make sure it's all good. Then I'm going to move to the back and then to the front and get all those done. Once I get the center diff out, I'll bring you guys back and I'll show you what I found once I have it out and apart. Shouldn't take too long to do that. I've always wanted one of these things, guys, and I can't wait to get this thing redone and take it for a test drive and just send this thing a few times and see what happens. I mean, you can tell this thing's old just by the original upper arms. I don't even think you can buy them arms like that anymore. If you don't have them, you don't have them. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun little build to do on the channel, guys. So give me a minute and I'll come back and I'll have the center diff out and we'll be working on the center diff first, guys. So see you in just a minute.
A few minutes later.
Okay, guys, so back at it with the Talion. So I got the center diff out, as you can see. Get that out of the road. Okay, guys, so we got the center diff out of this bad boy. This is the center diff that was in it. So I guess let me pull it apart real quick because this diff, and the reason I'm doing this is twofold. For one, there's a locker inside this center diff and I don't want a locker in the center diff. And for 2, I want to put this metal diff case on. All right, so got this center diff apart, and as you can see, guys, it just has a locker inside of it, which is not what we want. So I'm gonna swap out these bearings real quick, fill this center diff up with probably 1 million, and I also have, I'm gonna get rid of this plastic center diff mount, and I have an aluminum one out of the EXB V2 Kraton that I got an M2C motor mount on that, so that frees this up. So that will replace this. We're also going to put in this aluminum case diff with fluid and not a locker. And then the other thing that I want to do to this, which I won't be able to do today, is I have an EXB upper suspension mount. So I'm going to pull it off here and I'm going to install it in this, because this one's still factory plastic, and to me they just always break. But I got to get new hinge pins, because one of the wonderful things ARRMA does is have threaded ones in most of their cars with all the plastic, but when they switched over to the EXB style, it's got a screw on top and it just pulls in and out. So I got to get those pins, and then I think it'll be ready to rip, guys. At least get it out to make sure everything's set up right with the ESC and stuff like that. So let me get this thing swapped around and filled up and put back in, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, so just real quick, I am gonna go with some 1 million. I got everything swapped over, so the Avid bearings still on the center diff, because they are a pretty good quality bearing. The only other thing I would recommend is Jim's bearings. Jim's bearings has some killer bearings at killer prices. So let me get this in and let it get all settled, get it tightened up, and I will bring you back just before I put this center diff and the front carrier back in this bad boy. Okay guys, so now we got to get this back in, and if I remember right, it was kind of tough getting this thing out because these rear braces are just so thick. So hopefully I get it in here with no issues and be able to just slide everything in the right way.
Much later.
Okay guys, so I got the center diff all back in, as you can see. Now I did notice when I was rolling it, it was kind of binding. So I got the crappy stock motor mounts out, thankfully without ruining anything. I'm gonna replace those with something better. But I'm also noticing that this ESC is gonna have to come off and be reset, because it's actually rubbing on this new center diff. So that's gonna have to be taken off and moved as well, and then I'll have to mesh it up myself, because the mesh was really tight when I put this new center diff in. So let me get this thing up, get this ESC back off and cleaned up, get the motor meshed. I'll do that, and once I come back, guys, I'll show you everything all done.
Following day.
Okay, guys, so we're back. We got the Talion all back together. We get this body off, guys. So this is a sweet car, guys. I really dig the style of these cars. They're definitely one of my favorite cars ARRMA has made. Currently unavailable, so hopefully that means a new one's on the horizon. I would probably be interested in a new one, even if it wasn't an EXB model. The way I upgrade cars, it don't really matter anyways. So just to kind of go over what I really did to the car, because I really didn't do a whole bunch. I did get rid of some more of the stock parts that were still on here. The front upper hinge pin holder, I just went with an EXB one. I replaced the stock threaded style hinge pins with the new EXB style that just push in and use, I don't know if you can see very well, but uses that little set screw. I also put a new center diff in this because this had a locked center diff. So now it's got the aluminum case. If I still have the picture, I'll pop it up. A new aluminum center case with that spur, and it's not locked. It's got 1 million weight in it. I put some big cap head screws on the motor mount, so it's easier. Now, when I put this center diff in, it was rubbing the ESC. This has a Mamba Monster X8S ESC in it, and it was fine with the stock plastic diff. The way that composite rounds, it cleared it, but putting this in was a no-go. So I ended up having to remove the ESC, re-stick it back down. So I got that done. I also changed the front bearing carrier for the center diff to one of the aluminum ones. This is just an ARRMA version, came out of my 6S EXB V2. What else did I do to this thing, guys? I did that. Oh, we took off that big blue bumper and put on an EXB bumper. It does look a lot better like that. This thing's got a Just Bash It chassis on it. Now, I've never had one of these kind of chassis before. This is really the first time I ever seen one. I have to admit, guys, these things are definitely solid, and it's definitely their own design. I dig it, and I think with it being, I don't know how well this comes up, but being a tubbed chassis versus just being a flat plate, I don't think a tower-to-tower brace is even necessary in this rig. Not to mention it's got these big beefy center chassis braces installed in it, so I think it's good to go. Also has Just Bash It shock towers. Now, this truck does need a few more parts. It definitely needs a servo. This is probably not gonna last very long. It's just an ARRMA ADS 15, so just a stock servo still in this bad boy. And there is a voltage hobby D block on this thing, but the A, B, and C are still stock. So it's definitely going to need at least a B block. And I would probably just go ahead and get the A and C block doing it. But that's it, guys. This Talion is reborn, and it's here. Now all there is left to do is go out and send this bad boy. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hit the like button below. And the next time you guys see this bad boy, it's gonna be in some serious action. We're gonna have it ripping. We're gonna have it flying off the big ramps. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So like I just mentioned, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button below, it really, really helps the channel. It helps the channel more than what you ever understand, probably. It's a huge deal to us to hit the likes. It helps the algorithm. Enough of that. If you just found my channel because you were searching for ARRMA Talion stuff, hit that subscribe button. You're not gonna regret it. We got a lot coming in 2025. We got some big, big goals to achieve this year, and I think we can do it as long as I have your help. So, with that being said, guys, you already know what I'm gonna say. My name's Mike. This is an ARRMA Talion V1 Reborn. We are RC for us.